All right, first time here. Jennifer, congratulations. I'm glad you're here and welcome. Tim, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and post to the chat our community. We want you guys to join our community. It's a private Facebook group. It's only for us like-minded individuals who really just want to crush it day in and day out. You'll be able to post questions there. You'll be able to post referrals there, receive referrals there. Certainly share your struggles, share your challenges, and you're going to get some advice from our community. We just started this a couple of weeks ago, guys. We're over 1,100 people in the community now, and it's growing exponentially. We want you to be there. No doubt about that. We're going to be posting links to different webinars and different, guest speaker appearances, just like today, that you'll be able to just plug into. Just the point being, your business, your production, your bank account balance, and your net worth, it's going to grow to the extent that you personally grow. And by the way, how you participate on this call is how you're going to participate in all things related to revenue share growth. Now, revenue share is the only thing I've found that has increased my freedom and my income at exactly the same time. And guys, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, for this model. And quite frankly, I do this somewhat selfishly because I learn from each and every one of you. When you share a strategy or a tactic with us, guys, I take what I can away from these calls just like you do. And so I just encourage you, engage with us today. We got a great guest today. Her name is Nadia. Nadia, are you with us? Go ahead and unmute yourself. I don't see you.
I am.
Hi, Sean. There you are. Everyone. Nadia. Welcome. And thank you so much for taking the time, especially so close to the Christmas holiday. I am so grateful that you're here and you're just going to add value to these folks today. You're just going to value people as you always do, and you're going to pour into them. You're going to tell them, what are you doing to attract agents? What are you doing to help attract agents? And give us the quick story, Nadia. I mean, how'd you get into real estate? Why'd you get into real estate? How'd you get over to EXP? And what do you love about this model? Talk to us.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me today. It's an absolute pleasure. And like Sean said, selfishly, we also enjoy these calls because we learn a lot from you. So engagement is really, really important. My background is I've been in the real estate industry for 17 years now. Started my career forcefully, did not want to get into real estate. My father was a developer, builder, so he made me get into it. I failed my exam twice, but then finally realized he's not going to get off my back. I'm going to have to transition from being a school teacher to getting into real estate. Got into real estate, sold for about 5 years, but I still wanted more. So I got into broker management, and on the management side, I found that one of the best things that I loved about real estate is the challenges in real estate. So I knew I could sell real estate when it comes to residential, commercial development, but I wanted to be able to create a community for myself. And that's done through the recruiting process. And it was a challenge for me because I knew what I had myself to offer these agents was a phenomenal thing. I just needed to let them know that. So it became a challenge every day. And then, I realized I was actually good at it. And that took a long time to get there. But then when you get there, you're like, I understand now how to recruit. So I wrote a course myself and I taught it to brokers across Canada on how to recruit. And this is why we're here, is to be able to work together and be able to assist you guys on how to grow your organization. And the way you're going to grow your organization is through the recruiting. So Sean, do you want me to continue, or do you want me to stop and you want to ask questions, or just continue with the way I normally would go through it?
Well, thank you for asking, Nadia. Well, first off, just for the benefit of those folks that are down here in the lower 50, okay, what are the major differentiation points between the U.S. model of EXP and the Canadian model of EXP? Sorry.
To be honest with you, it's the same model. When it comes to recruiting and growing an organization, no matter what organization you have, it's really the same process. You have to look at I call them my 5 points of recruiting, and it kind of ties everything together. So if we're talking about growing an organization, whether it's here, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Africa, wherever it is, it's going to be exactly the same thing. And when we talk about the fundamentals of recruiting or the attraction aspect of it, there's just for me, I simplify it into 5 forms. If you're able to conquer these 5 points when you're growing your organization and attracting agents to your organization, you'll be golden. So the way that I start, and Sean, I'm just going to go ahead with it.
Sure.
The way that I start is you have to identify who you want to attract to your organization. We don't want absolutely everybody. You're going to attract like-minded people. You're going to attract people that are willing to grow or that already have growth and would also like to attract to their organization. So there's a lot of different ways of looking at it. Some agents will focus on, I want to recruit the top producer in my marketplace. Why? As long as they icon, you're making good money. So why are we reaching for the top? We can reach for the top. However, look at all the agents in your community that can really use your support when it comes to training, when it comes to growing their organization, when it comes to making additional income, and they can really benefit from the different revenue streams that we have here at EXP. So sometimes it may not be aiming for the top 20%. It may be aiming for the middle. And those are the people that I went after. It's what can make me, so there's a maximum amount that I can make off of every agent that I recruit. Whether that agent makes $1 million or they make 80,000, it's the same amount I'm going to make off that agent.
So Nadia, a lot of people might push back here and say, well, the top producers, that top 20%, those are the agents with influence. So when I get one of those, I'm going to be able to very easily attract others. What are your thoughts around that? Talk to me.
That is a very, very good question. So they are the attractors. They are the attractors that will bring with them their own team, their own posse, as I call it, the people that are already working with them. Now, take an agent, and not to say you shouldn't go after them, but you should pick different categories and go after these different categories all at the same time. One will come to fruition from this one will come to fruition from this one, and one from this one. Now, you take an agent that is making about $60,000 to $70,000, and you up their commission through your training, through your support, through your help, and provide them with different ways of growing their organization. What's that going to be for you in your community? They are going to rave about you. You are the one that helped them in their career. You're the one that made them what they are. And they're just going to be a walking testimonial everywhere they go. So that's why I say these groups, and these are the groups that tap into the newer agents that are coming into the industry, because they're still taking ongoing courses. They're still meeting people that are coming new in. They have those connections. So for me, it's identifying who I want to attract, but I never limit. It's kind of like being a listing agent, and I'm saying, I only want to be a listing agent. Why? Why am I going to limit my marketplace to only one? You want to have different marketplaces. So top agents, middle tier, lower tier, as long as I can help them grow their business. If you get someone that has zero motivation, they don't want to do anything, they want the phone to ring, not someone you're going to go after. But someone that is really working hard to get to where they want to get to, but need your assistance, those are the people that you really want to drive hard for.
Undoubtedly. So Nadia, most agents at EXP, they don't approach revenue share like it's a business, right? They just, oh, well, I'll get to it when I get to it. What are some of the things that you've done to really motivate and inspire yourself to build that revenue share? Talk to me.
It's hard because they don't want to push it on other agents and say revenue share, revenue share. We look at what I say to the agents when I'm training them on the recruiting is that you look at your business, you want to attract agents to work on their business, which is their sales business every single day. So there's the sales business that I have. Then there is my own business, which is the revenue share. And that is building those business partners to be part of that community that's going to allow you to build on your retirement plan. So the way we sell it is that at EXP, you can work on your sales business, but you can also work on your retirement business at the same time. And you have the option of both. So some agents don't even want to touch the revenue share part of it. Now, what I did is I created a presentation, and I'm not sure, Sean, if you guys have a presentation that you work off of. So I went and I did my own presentation when it comes to attraction, and it's covering little bits and pieces so that you're not overwhelming. The second part of the way I look at recruiting is that know your value proposition. And this is where the presentation comes in. I can tell you everything that I have. I can tell you my story, but if I don't have a presentation in place to keep you on point of everything you need to discuss with that potential agent that might come and join your organization, you'll lose track of time. So you want to make sure that you have that presentation and you're always on point when you're presenting it. Research and identify your candidate. Don't just
hold on 1 second. I don't want to go past point number 2 yet, Nadia. Okay, because one of the things that you're demonstrating is something that I've taken extremely seriously at EXP, is that you're training the agents that you attract over to EXP how to go out and attract other agents. So you're giving them essentially the what to say, the how to say it, and then it's up to them to say it to enough people. And those are the 3 things we can control, right? So go deeper with that, Nadia, because that is so critically important. So many people, they just focus on, I'm going to grab agents for my front line, and then they just kind of forget them because they're on to the next. It's kind of like if you work with a buyer and you help them buy a property, you work with a seller, help them list and sell a property, buy another, and then you just kind of ignore them. They become orphans, right?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. With the same thing of, growing your business at EXP, you've got to have a database for your organization. Like you have a database for your buyers and your sellers and you keep in touch, you have to have a database to keep in touch with them. You're not going to talk to someone one time and they're going to say, oh my God, EXP, please let me join. You might have to talk to them 4 or 5 times, or you might have to talk to them for a couple of years before they are convinced to come and join. Now with the RevShare, we kind of have this reputation. Oh, you know what? You're recruiting only because you make money off of me. That is something that we want to eliminate from their minds. So when you explain the commission split that they pay at EXP and what happens to that commission split, so they're paying their 20% to the company. What happens with that? If they icon and then they do 20 deals after that, they have the ability to make that back. If they attend conferences, they have the ability to make more of it back. However, where does that RevShare come from? Do we just say that every time I recruit someone, if they're in my front line, I make $2,800 from that person because they cap out? They think now you're taking money from their commission and taking it to your pocket. But the way I present it is you're paying a commission split to the company. If my agents in my front line, I'm only going to talk about the front line, cap out and I'm able to make that $2,800, that's not coming from you. That money is going to the company anyways. So whether the company takes it or I take it, it's the same thing. It's still not coming from you to me directly. You're paying it out no matter what. So they know that part of their commission split that they're paying to EXP is coming back to me. And they don't have a problem with that because the same thing is going to happen for them. So it's all about how you approach it and you sell it to them. Sean, I can't hear you.
I am so sorry. I put myself on mute because I have a little bit of a cough still. It's kind
of that's okay.
But, sorry about that. So what are some things maybe that you feel that you're doing a little bit differently than everybody else at EXP that would be the game changer in your opinion? What's your secret spices to the recipe?
I would have to say being in the face of the agents. We work for, a company that is a virtual company. People still want to see you in their face. So when we're holding events, we're actually present in person. Very, very important. Being consistent in everything that I say. So if I say you join our organization, there's going to be training once a week, or there's going to be meetings every other week, or there's going to be a month-end meeting, I stay consistent. And the second they join, they get the invitations so that no one loses track of what we're doing. The main thing I say is passion. You have to have passion for what you do, and it's all over you. So if I'm presenting and I'm not excited by what I have to present, no one else is going to be excited either. I don't want to just say this has changed my life. I've done great things. I want to show them what I've done. I want to show them where I'm at. I want to show them what I make and how I got there. When they see your excitement, then they start to buy into it. And that's what we want.
No doubt. Now, energy is undoubtedly contagious, yet sometimes we get a candidate, right? And we want to glom onto them. We want to jump all over them. We want to tell them all about EXP and why it's so amazing. How do you hold that back? I mean, how do you curb the enthusiasm, if you will, and kind of build a case against EXP? I mean, it's challenging, isn't it?
Very. And this is why I say having a presentation is so important. You have your points in the presentation. And Sean, do you mind if I just share my screen and be able to bring mine up?
Go for it, please.
Okay. So I'll just share my screen here. And I'm just going to take myself off video for a second. So with my presentation, can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Okay. Build your future.
Yeah. So this is, and again, everyone is going to customize the presentation in according to how you feel about EXP. But having a presentation in place is what is going to keep you on track of not vomiting your excitement all over the agent that you're trying to recruit, and they can take a breather and try to understand. And I pause at every slide. Like before I take them through any of the slides, there are a series of questions that I ask them, then I present to them. Why I ask them questions is, the third part of what I go over is the research, identifying what that agent currently has at their brokerage and what it is that they're missing and what it is that I can offer them to make their life so much better. So when I take them through the presentation, I talk about that it's cloud-based. It keeps me on track of what I need to say to that agent that I'm meeting with. So this is pretty much the services that we offer. So now I can't just say we offer tons of tech. I'm not going to say that because I want to go through everything that I have so that they actually see it. When I talk about the marketing center, I want to be able to bring it up. And this is why sometimes just going through the world is not enough. You have to schedule that Zoom call so that you're able to show them the different values or different platforms that you do have. So again, I change the pictures in the presentation to reflect the way I am and the way I run my business. And I just basically go through the entire presentation, so show them some trends that are happening, some statistics. I really go, and this is from Brent Gove actually, which I have to redo. And this is where we say we're comparing apples to apples. And, we talk about pyramid, and everybody thinks that EXP is a pyramid scheme. And I show them this and I say, this is where you're at. This is the pyramid, and this is where I'm at. And we have EXP that goes straight to agent. So you tell me who has the pyramid. Yeah. And this is a very powerful slide that we show these agents. So that's basically it. I do have links in my presentation, which makes it easier when I'm presenting to the agent. So for example, this one here is increasing your revenue share. I can go and visit that website. It takes me to the commercial platform, and I'm able to explain that better to them when I'm meeting with them. So it's important to insert links. And like I said, it's all about how you want to present yourself to these agents. Comparisons, I have it very simply listed for them so that they can see the commission cap, standard commission, what they charge, what we charge per month. The different
one suggestion I'd have for you on that side, the 149, and many of you are pitching the 149 startup fee, right? I would encourage you to reduce that to $64 because the 149 does include the first month $85 technology fee.
100%.
So it makes it just a little bit easier, especially for those agents who aren't loaded. You follow me, right?
So this one here.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Change that. I do have, they ask, for 149 to join, and then I break it down for them, but it would be easier to not have to handle that objection. And again, like going through, I have the different tiers here.
Yes.
healthcare. I talk about that a little bit. I show them a little bit of the, the kind of atmosphere that we have, different meetings that we do, integrate pictures in there, make it your own, like make it something that they're excited to see and they're looking at it. And it's not just a blah presentation, not just orange and blue, see what your colors are and emphasize that in the presentation that you have. And, we talk about our message from our growth team and then just thanking them for the presentation. The presentation is done. Very easy to go through, but I focus on it. But before I take them through this presentation, like I said, what I cover is that I really do my research, whether on social media, their websites, I see what they have, what we have, and I compare the two. And when I sit down with them, the first thing that I do with them is I go through a series of questions. Can you tell me how many transactions you do per year? I think I have about 20 questions that I go through with them, but they're very simple questions. Do you work more on the buyer side? Do you work more on the selling side? How do you?
Nadia, let me ask, are these questions, are they scripted? Like, do you have like a lead sheet or something that you follow for every call? Talk to me.
I do.
Fantastic.
So for the initial call is not to go through the presentation. The initial call that I make is, hi, this is Nadia Habib calling from eXp Realty. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit. Do you have some free time? They say, yes, I have some free time. So, I'm just going to pick Sean. Sean, what I do at eXp is I'm the national director and I recruit for eXp. And the reason I'm calling you is that I've gone through your website, gone through your social media, and just sent a little comparison to what we have to offer. And I was just wondering if you can spare half an hour to get on a Zoom call with me so I can show you the difference of what we have and what you have. No obligation. I'm not asking you to move. It's so that you know what's out there, that in the event, if you ever had to move or needed to move, you know your options. Is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Well, Nadia, I'm really, I'm happy where I'm at. I really am.
That's absolutely no problem. And typically when people are happy, they don't tend to move. But when you become unhappy and you want a place to go, it's good to know what's out there. But the best time to move is when you're happy, Sean, because you never want to leave on a bad note. You want to know what's out there. And if it's more beneficial for your business, this is a business decision. So if I can show you how to make money in your sales business, but also be working on your retirement plan at the same time and keep more money in your pocket, would that be something that would interest you to hop on a Zoom call with me?
Nadia, rock on. I'm so glad you're here today. And I'm so glad we got that on the recording. That was a really great objection handler. Congratulations. That is amazing. So I say yes. Then what do you do?
Then I'm like, I pull up my calendar right away. What works for you? I don't get off the call until I book something. They say, well, this week is busy. No problem. How's Monday next week? How is this time? As soon as I get it, I send them the link. As soon as I'm on the phone with them, they get it and we're good to go. Follow up with them. Please don't forget our Zoom call. I changed it to text. Now I'm texting them. So they have my cell phone number and we get on the Zoom call and we do the presentation.
Let me ask, are you doing anything with video as it relates to the text, like through CRM Grow or something like that?
No,
so it's just
I keep it
text. Okay.
short. So if you book, and I hate to say this, guys, but if you book anything that's 2 weeks out, I would say 90% of the time they're going to cancel.
That's right.
Try to book your meetings no longer than 3, maximum 4 days out, because then they don't have a chance to cancel and it would be very difficult.
100% agree on that, by the way. Yes.
I always say one line is, but please remind me when we're on the call to go over with you what I make monthly from my business organization at eXp, not just my sales business. Now I have them thinking. Okay, I'm just going to leave them with that. I'm not going to give them any numbers. I'm just going to say, please remind me on the call to share that with you.
Nadia, I love that. That is so good. That is so good. It just piques their curiosity. See, in the absence of value, you guys, what they're going to do is they're going to no-show the appointment. I mean, if anything comes up, they get a paper cut, they're not going to show up. You understand? So they're always open to distractions, and you got to get them focused. And the only way to get them to show up is to install some sense of value or curiosity. And Nadia, that's exactly what you're demonstrating for our organization, or for this group of ours. So thank you.
You're welcome. You want to keep them guessing, and you want them to keep thinking about it. And when that meeting comes up, they would have probably forgot, or maybe thinking of reasons to cancel that appointment. But then they think to themselves, wait, she's going to share with me what she makes monthly. I'd like to know that. Even if I don't move, I want to be nosy and I want to find out. And that's your into the conversation. When you get them on that Zoom call, you go through the series of questions. And Sean, I don't mind sharing that. I can email that to you if you like. The series of questions that I go through with the agents. And it's basically a fact finder. I want to know everything about them before I jump into my presentation, because no presentation will be the same. Every presentation, like when you're meeting with a seller, you're going to tailor it after you speak to them and you find out some facts from them. So I'm going to change my presentation up depending on how they answer me, what they make per year, what's important to them, how long they want to continue staying in real estate, how many homes they sell, is this enough money? Does their company provide them with websites? Do they provide them with tech support? Do they provide them with lead generation platforms? So if they say, I have all of that, instead of just telling them about what I have, I'm also going to compare the two. I'm going to compare look-wise, number of leads that are generated between the two, and cost-wise. Cost is very, very important. So you really have to play around with your presentation according to how they answer these questions. And the first time, you're going to be fumbling through. Second time, it's going to get a little easier. Third time, you're going to become a pro at it.
That's exactly right. Well, the first time you do something, it takes you 10 times longer.
Absolutely.
And you're nowhere near as effective, that's for sure. Yet
Absolutely.
it's a task over time. Yet a lot of people think that repetition is the mother of all skill. Quite frankly, that's not true. It's about evaluated repetition. So after every call that you guys have, every attraction appointment that you have, even if it was a 10 on a scale from 0 to 10, I want you to ask yourself the question, how can I make that a 14 or 15 on a scale from 0 to 10? You with me? Absolutely. How can you make it even better? It's not just about fixing things, right, gang? See, a lot of people, they're into just fixing everything. Like, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix that, I'm going to put out this fire, I'm going to put out that fire. And, at the end of the day, you feel more like a firefighter than you do a professional realtor. How many of you guys been there, honestly? Feeling more like a firefighter than a professional, yes? See, it's not about fix, fix, fix. The new mindset that I want you to adopt is fix, prevent, prevent, prevent. So you fix it once, you prevent it from ever happening again. See, Nadia, you're the type of person that is going to hear an objection and you're going to try to overcome that objection. Maybe you don't do it. You're going to fix that one time and prevent it from ever happening again. Yes?
Absolutely.
See, guys, this is how great businesses are built. This is how great scripts are developed. It's through fix, prevent, prevent. So let's all adopt that mindset. Yet there's really 4 areas that we have to focus on, right? Number 1 is recruiting. Number 2, retention. And we're going to talk about that today, Nadia, a little bit. How are you retaining the agents? Number 3 is revenue or per agent production. Number 4, it's about reproduction. And we've already touched on that, Nadia, that you're providing to everybody that you attract to your organization, no matter their level, you're giving them your presentation such that they can master it. Right.
One thing that I do want to share before it slips my mind is that if you don't feel comfortable when you hop on a call with someone, and this is someone that you really want to bring onto your organization, you should feel free at EXP. And this is one of the things that I absolutely love about the company and the people that work at EXP is I can ask Judy to get on the call with me and say, Judy, I really like the way you present your presentation. You're stronger than I am. Do you mind hopping on the call with me? And I find agents willing to help and get on the call and try to recruit for you and help you recruit and wanting nothing in return other than if they need you at one point, you're going to step in just the same. And that's one value that's one item that is invaluable at EXP. So Sean, moving on is then I show them the difference. So we talked about going through the questionnaire, which Sean, I will share with you and I'll share my presentation as well. I've seen someone ask for that. Then I start to adjust. So if they have a lead gen program, I'm going to show them our lead gen program. If they tell me it generates 10 leads, I'm going to show them how we generate 20 leads. If they tell me it costs them $100, I'm going to show them how it can cost them $75 with us. So at the end of the day, even if you're recruiting an agent where it might be more expensive to work at EXP by a couple of $1,000s, having the difference between the two companies, they're going to make more money with EXP, but you have to get good at calculating the difference. So you always start with, what do you pay at your company? And they tell you, oh, I don't know. I know I cap out at, $16,000, or let's say I want it to be under, I cap out at $14,000. And when you recruit them to EXP, they're going to cap out at 16. So they're already not moving forward because there's a $2,000 difference. Now, what do? So now we've got $14,000 here and we've got $16,000 here. What do you pay for your website? Oh, didn't really think of that. Okay, well, I pay this much for my website. How much do you pay, for a desk fee? How much do you pay for marketing fee? How much do you pay for this? How much you go through every expense that they have and calculate that.
Well, Nadia, what you're doing, and a lot of agents, they don't want to do that math. Let's be honest. I mean, sure, they see it on their commission disbursement agreement, they pay the monthly bills, yet they don't want to do the math. They don't want to know what they're paying to their broker. Yet, thanks to EXP, it's not about what you pay them. It's about what they're going to pay you, no doubt about it. So, Nadia, thank you for bringing that to light as well. Way to go.
When you put it in front of them in writing, they're like, oh my God, I pay them $30,000. I pay them $25,000. That's crazy. So then I say the difference between what you pay your current broker and what you pay at EXP is, let's say, $5,000. $5,000 over a period of 5 years, $25,000. You telling me you can't use $25,000 anywhere? There isn't a car that you want to get. There isn't a vacation that you want to take. Your kids can't use that. So you kind of throw it back at them. This is how much money. Now, this is not to mention the money that you're going to get back from what you're paying EXP. The $8,000 in stock share, the $4,000. So you start to go through that, and then a light bulb comes up and they say, wow, I can't believe I'm paying this much. So, whatever assumptions people have about a company that is into the recruiting, your job is to diminish that and show them how they can build their business and work on the retirement business at the same time. And then after I show them the difference, I ask them, what do they think of the presentation? Are there any questions that they have? And you should have covered all of their questions within that presentation. If there are any questions, I answer their questions and I ask them the blunt question, when do you think you would be ready to make a decision? And if they say to me, right now is not the right time, I honestly just wanted to see what you had, not a problem. Do you mind if I keep in touch with you? And that's when I add them to my database. Your database needs to have its own calendar of keeping in touch with people on your database. Classify them, whether they're A, B, C, then you're going to format, how am I going to communicate with them? It can't all be video. It can't all be email. It can't all be calls or text messages. It has to be a variety of all. And maybe start inviting them to some Zoom calls, some mastermind sessions, and developing your own mastermind. It doesn't matter if they're Remax or Keller Williams or C21. Let's all get together and not talk about brand. But what am I doing? I'm building a relationship with them. And
that's exactly right, Nadia. You are so spot on. Guys, if you just preach EXP day after day, week after week to them, they're going to ghost you. I promise you. Yeah. They're going to stop returning your texts. They're going to stop picking up the phone when your caller ID number shows up, right? You need to add some value outside of what the EXP model has to offer. So doing a weekly mastermind, like Nadia suggested, guys, that is the way to do it, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely. And you know what? Follow them on social media and start sharing what you talked about in the presentation on social media. So for me, no matter what you're doing in this business, it has to be scheduled in your calendar so that you don't miss a day. Because if you miss posts, they'll start to forget about you because other people are on social media as well. Schedule everything. There's a program for everything. So when it's in your calendar, you're going to do it. Always have soft touches. And if they tell you they're not thinking about moving for 6 months, don't contact them before 2 months or 3 months. Give them time to breathe because you don't want them to feel like they're being hounded, right? You want to take a very natural approach with them.
Love it. I love what Gayla McGowan, who happens to be my director of sales here for a real estate sales team in Austin, Texas. So by the way, if you have any referrals for Austin, reach out to Gayla McGowan. She'll take care of them. I promise you that. She said, quite frankly, most agents have no idea how much they actually spend in their businesses or to their broker.
They don't, and they see the monthly payment, but when they're sitting in front of me, they're not only going to see the monthly, I'm going to calculate it for the entire year. And then I'm going to calculate it times 5, and I'm really going to throw it in their face because that's what kind of gives you that sick feeling. Really, I'm paying that much? I had no idea. I'm talking to an agent right now at Remax out in Toronto, and he pays his broker $42,000 every single year. And I said, I would do your business. Pay me $42,000. I'd be more than happy to take it. Like, that's a lot of money to pay. I said, he goes, why? Is there cheaper? Dude, like, come out and start looking at different options for yourself. So luckily, after we went through the comparison, he's agreed to come. He's just finishing up his new homes projects, and then he'll be joining EXP. But that's just it. They don't know what's out there until you tell them, but you can't preach EXP. You've got to just talk about the soft touches and what it's done for you and the value that it's added to your life.
Undoubtedly. I just had a Compass agent join me about 10, well, I guess now almost 12 months ago now, yet she had paid to Compass last year $383,000, guys.
Oh.
She comes over to EXP. By the way, she's a solo agent, high producer, no doubt. One unlicensed assistant comes over to EXP. It's not $383,000. No, it's $16,000, which of course she gets back anyway in the form of EXP stock. So gotta love that. Sean Palcino, you've been really patient. You've had your hand up. Sean, by the way, is a coach with us here at Icon Coaching. Many of you coach directly with Sean. So I want to hear what you have to say, Sean. What question do you have or what comment do you want to make?
I just wanted to ask Nadia, I may have missed this in the beginning, but if you could share, we got 2 questions for you, Nadia. If you could share, what does your daily routine look like? Like, you're having these presentations, how are you getting in conversation? You mentioned events, but is there a daily routine that you have? I mean, obviously events are probably monthly, but do you have a daily routine to get into conversation? That's my first question. And what are the results of the questions these presentations you've been giving? How many people are in your group and organization? What did it start like in the beginning and how did it grow? If those are the 2 questions that I'd like to know. And if you're on this call and you haven't taken Sean's course, Attraction and Action, it's all about action, you taking action around attraction recruiting. And if you haven't taken that course, I know he's going to be making some additions to it, making it even better than it already is. Go to iconcoaching.com, go to programs at the top, and you'll see Attraction and Action. Take that course, get into action yourself. And that's what I'd like to hear what you share with the group, Nadia. So what your actions look like on a daily and a weekly basis.
So mine are pretty much scheduled in my calendar because I do it on a national level for Canada. There's myself and Natalie that do it on a national level. Events is big for us and helping our agents recruit and attract to their organization. In Canada, I believe in the month of November was 365 agents just in the month of November. How do we do it? It's got to be strategic. It's got to be okay. Go back to the basics of how I sold real estate. Every day, what's my prospecting time? I have a list of people that I want to call. I have a list of brokerages that I want to call. So I go on the brokerage level, list of brokerages that I want to call. When I make the call, do I book the appointment? Then I book my appointments. So my day, and then I add them to my database. And so it's like kind of like a full circle that I do with every single one. How do I pick? You know what? I just use Google and I list independent brokerages, or I list brokerages in a certain city, and I just go through call by call by call by call. And different strategies, it's sometimes you build the relationship and they're not interested, but you end up talking about the real estate market and what's going on in their area. Sometimes they're really interested and they want to have a face-to-face meeting. So then you book that and you're going out for a face-to-face meeting. But there's a lot of different ways of just getting in their face. But you have to, every time you make that call, I would say have 2 points that you're going to tell them to pique interest. Whether you're going to talk about retirement plan or you're going to talk about how you can, so for on a brokerage side, how I can take away your overhead. Whatever your overhead is costing you is going to go back right into your pocket, and you don't have to worry about administrative staff. You're also making the RevShare off of your own agents. So at the end of the day, if we looked at the financials, if you were with EXP and we looked at the financials while you owned your own brokerage with 120 agents, you would make significantly more money with EXP while you still support your own agents.
So let's get into that role play, Nadia, real quick. You're going to call a brokerage with 120 agents. And let's say I am the broker owner, okay? So I want you to call me. And what do you say?
Hi, Sean. This is Nadia calling from EXP. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Nadia. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I realize that you probably have a busy day running a brokerage of 120 agents. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, Sean. However, the reason why I'm calling is that I realize that in today's market, overhead is a huge expense for broker of records. Would you agree?
100%. Yes, it's challenging right now, no doubt.
Absolutely. And Sean, so what I was doing is I was trying to figure out maximum or square footage per agent needed. So what I'm coming up with, and this is true calculation, that if you have a physical office, you need to allocate anywhere between 40 to 50 square feet per agent. How many square feet do you have at your organization, Sean?
We've got a fairly small office, about 3,500 square feet.
So 3,500 square
For
feet.
120 agents, yeah. I'm just,
120.
I have no idea, Nadia. I'm just giving you a number.
That's
Okay, so
totally fine.
3,500.
That's totally fine. So that would be a big expense in a market like this. Do you think that your agents come into the building a lot? Is that why you have such a large office?
Yeah, we don't have many come in, but some do, and they appreciate the space. It's Class A, and yeah, it's impressive to their prospects and clients.
How long do you think you're going to have your real estate business? How many more years do you think you're going to have your real estate business, Sean?
Oh, probably 15 years before I try to roll it up and sell it.
And you want to continue to grow that business, correct?
Yes.
What if I shared with you how EXP can take away the overhead? You continue having your own business, Sean. You continue having your own agents. But as your business starts to grow and your agents start to recruit, your retirement business continues to grow significantly. And if you choose to retire, rather than having someone buy you out and taking the risk that your agents might leave the business or your company because you no longer are the broker of record, they stay because even though you're retired, you're still with them. Would that be something that interests you, that we can have a half-an-hour meeting, compare? But even if you decide that this isn't the best fit for you, Sean, at least you know the comparison between your company and EXP. And it'll be about a half an hour if that's okay with you.
Well, Nadia, I suppose I'd be open-minded to that. Way to go, Nadia. Love it. Great lead in, great script. And by the way, you're just so calm and so approachable, and the inflections are great. I mean, it's just, okay, yeah, I'm open-minded. So then you set up the Zoom meeting.
Absolutely. Or when it comes to brokerages, it might be advisable if you can do an in-person meeting, that would be even more effective. However, if you can't, choose a Zoom meeting. One point I wanted to focus on, Sean, when I was talking to you as a broker of record, you would be so quick to want to get someone off the phone because you don't have time. You're so busy, either golfing or answering questions, one or the other. So what did I ask you when I hopped on the call with you? Is I asked you for help. And when people ask for help, you're no longer thinking now this is a threat call. Well, she's trying to figure out how much it costs per square foot or how much square footage per agent is needed per office. That's how we started our conversation. But if it was me calling you and saying, hey, Sean, I just want to talk to you about EXP and how you can make more money with EXP, you're going to be like, Nadia, I don't have time.
Yeah.
But I drag the conversation with you. And that's what you guys want, is something to drag the conversation with.
That's exactly right, Nadia. Now, a couple of questions have come in through the chat.
Yes.
First off, are you open-minded? Would you be willing to share your PowerPoint presentation? Or I don't know if it's Keynote or PowerPoint, but would you be open to sharing that with our folks here?
100%. And just so you guys know, it's I created it in Canva. So you guys can go into Canva and be able to fully edit the presentation. Be careful, there's some wordings in there for Canadian. So just go over the presentation. If you want to have role play in the presentation, I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. And I'll also send you the list of questions that I go through when it comes to talking to an agent before the Zoom, like on the Zoom meeting, before I go through the presentation.
Right on, Nadia. Thank you so much for that. And Andre Pinto, I see that your hand is up. Go ahead, take it away, brother.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Nadia, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.
My pleasure.
I have a quick question for you. I recently joined EXP and immediately started my agent attraction business. But obviously, I don't have those numbers that you have to share with them on, how is the agent attraction looking for you? How's the revenue share looking for you? I also don't have that advantage of belonging to a team since I'm a solo agent, so I can't offer the training opportunities. So do you think this is a disadvantage, and what you would focus on in case you don't have this?
Did you have a sponsor coming into EXP?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
Did you have a sponsor when you came into EXP?
Yes, I do. He's right here with us.
Okay.
I am fortunate and blessed to have Andre in my front line. So yes, I'm here to help him. And Andre,
So
share my numbers.
Andre. We're going to use Sean's numbers.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
You're gonna say, I just started this. However, this is the result of attracting agents. And Sean, I mean, you don't have to share your exact numbers, but as a figure or how to grow your business, you can do that. But
Well,
always
no problem sharing those numbers with you, Andre. So definitely leverage me, leverage the people that are partners with me above me in the organization, because their numbers are substantially better than mine. No doubt about that. Mine aren't terrible. Don't get me wrong. Yet, in fact, I'm very pleased with my numbers. Yet we can give them some bigger numbers as well. No doubt about it.
Sean and Andre, I rely a lot of the times. I bring in Brent Gove's numbers. I bring in, affinity team. I bring in all like different people. I don't want them just to know about me. What if I'm lazy and I don't want to work? I want them to see what productive people do, right? That's, and everybody starts somewhere. So you rely on other people's statistics.
Been a nice car driver.
All right, John Mendelson, over to you, brother. Take it away.
Yeah, I was just going to say to Andre, don't let that distract you at all. I haven't sold a piece of real estate, I guess, other than my own house since 2019. And all I do is recruit agents. And in my scripting, when I was originally doing it, it was my sponsors' numbers. And because of another business option or thing that I run, it's my other business partners' numbers. But I literally haven't sold a piece of real estate since 2019. So I wouldn't worry about what your numbers are. I would lean in. I mean, especially if Sean is your direct sponsor, lean in on him. He's got it. Mm-hmm. You're very fortunate to have that.
Thank you, John. That was really kind of you and great advice, no doubt about it. So many of you are posting your email addresses to the chat. Here's what we're going to do. And Tim Ventura, can you unmute yourself real fast? Can we have you connect with Nadia, get the presentation, get the list of questions, and then blast it out to everybody who registered for today's session? Could you do that via email?
Yeah, in fact, and I was just writing a giant thank you in chat to Nadia for joining us today on such short notice. Nadia, you are an amazing presenter, absolutely amazing presenter. Thank you.
She's a teacher, man. she's a former teacher. You can tell. It's good.
So, Michael Valdez has the last 2 weeks of December off, and that I work directly with him, and this is my 2 weeks off. And then when I saw your message, I'm like, I'm so bored. Yes, please, I want to speak.
I love it.
Because I don't like, I don't know what to do on vacation time. So it was an absolute pleasure. And I really appreciate you guys having me on. At any time that you guys want to get more into the nitty-gritty, any help that you guys need, please reach out.
Nadia, thank you so much. Today was amazing. It was so much fun. I want you all to really relax during the holidays. Seriously, just connect with loved ones, sharpen that saw, because you know what? When we come back after the first of the year, guys, we are just going to crush it in 2023. So Nadia, thank you so much again. Any final thoughts, parting words?
Don't give up. Keep going.
Just don't
Your
give
first
up.
recruit doesn't work. Your second doesn't work. Your 10th doesn't work. Doesn't matter. But contact other agents to assist you. You have a massive network around you that are all willing to help. I mean, whether it's Sean or John, there's a lot of Sean's and John's and Tim's on this call, but everybody is here to assist, and anything that you guys need. This is why you joined EXP. We are an organization that wants to be able to assist and help each other. We're not, trying to go against each other or try to toss each other out of the way. We're here to all help, because when you grow, we all grow at the same time.
That's exactly right. Love it. Well, until we talk again next week, you guys just be on purpose, be productive, and be powerful. Talk to you all later. Thank you, Nadia.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.